Today, I'll tell you an incredible story about how I'm bringing back to life one of the legendary sailing boats. Adventure waits. Join me to share all our triumphs and setbacks and to see how this legend raises her sails. Hi, I'm Vita. The adventure begins now. I'm so glad we met again. In the previous episodes, we were dismantling the furniture, pumping out water, and scrubbing the boat. But today marks a completely new stage. You definitely didn't expect to see this. It's something rarely shown, and trust me, it's going to be interesting. Stay until the end. During the cleaning stage, we discovered several small problems that will need fixing, but you'll find out about that in the next episodes. Today, I'll tell you why we are rebuilding her completely, what materials and ideas we want to bring to life, and you'll see how a 3D model of the boat is created. I'll say it right away, we won't be repairing or bringing the old furniture back. It's gone for good. Now I'll explain why we're starting everything from scratch. The Optima 98 is a very sturdy and seaworthy boat. She was designed for those who love to travel and take part in races. She can accommodate 6 people and is perfect for weekend trips. But here is the catch. She was not designed for permanent living. Despite all her advantages, she's simply not convenient for long-term life and travel. Let's break down why that is and what problems it creates specifically for me. The maximum crew capacity of the Optima 98 is 6 people. That's why she has 6 berths, 2 in the aft cabin, 2 in the bow cabin, and 2 in the saloon. For short weekend trips, that's great. You can sleep and everything's fine. But here is the snag. I'm going to live on the boat alone. Why would I need 6 sleeping places? Of course, sometimes guests might come, but I don't want to turn the boat into a hotel. I want a home that's comfortable for me. So, some of the berths will have to go, and the freed up space will be used differently. In the next steps, you'll see how this space transforms into functional living and working zones. The next problem is the galley. It's very small. Yeah, for short weekend trips, that's not a big issue. You don't need to cook much, and a big kitchen with lots of dishes isn't necessary. But for me, she's my home, and I'll be cooking here constantly and deliciously. That means I need a convenient kitchen, enough space for dishes, food storage, and meal prep, plus a proper table to chop and cook comfortably. And yes, the kitchen will replace one of those useless sofas. Another problem familiar to anyone living on a boat is storage. I wouldn't know about it if I hadn't lived 3 years on the water. Boats have drawers, lockers, and storage under the seats, but somehow the things you need most always end up at the bottom or in the farthest corner. Looking for the right t-shirt feels like an archaeological dig. Does that happen to you? Let's talk in the comments about storage solutions. Share your experience. We've prepared a little surprise for you. Remember, in one of the videos I talked about the dishes that were on the boat, the same ones that appeared in a magazine. If you haven't seen it yet, there should be a link right here. We searched for that magazine in online archives for a long time to show it to you, but unfortunately, we couldn't find it. So we decided to scan this relic ourselves so you can touch a piece of history from one of the legendary boats. And we even translated it into English. The magazine is already available on Patreon, but that's not all. Soon we'll be sharing the original manuals and documents from the Della shipyard that we found on this boat. You can find the link to our Patreon in the pinned comment. Another important point on any boat is the head. On mine it was tiny and there wasn't even a shower. Do you think the size and convenience of this area make a big difference in everyday comfort? Another major change will be replacing her old diesel engine with an electric one. Right now, she has a Volvo painted 27 horsepower with a sail drive. On the outside is just a rusty chunk of metal. Some parts are missing and we couldn't even get it started. But here is the good news. The sail drive looks much better and the oil in it is perfectly clean. That gives us hope it can be saved. We can't do a detailed inspection until she is fully lifted. So, for now we'll focus on what we can do. Rebuilding and repairing accessible sections. And since you're still with us, it's time to move on the most exciting part. Sit back and get comfortable. This is the first real stage of construction, designing her new interior. Yeah, it's drawings, calculations, and much more. Honestly, I'm a total beginner at this, but I'm ready to learn on the go. We've already taken all her measurements, and unfortunately we couldn't film that part because the camera was being repaired. But now comes the fun part. It's time to create a 3D model of the boat, where every idea comes alive on screen. The program I'm trying to figure out is called SolidWorks. It's a serious tool for engineers. My dad uses it to design interiors for yachts and caravans. With it, you can not only visualize ideas, but also create all the necessary blueprints, check constructions, calculate materials, and even estimate the cost of each detail. To be honest, it all feels complicated and confusing right now. My dad will be doing most of the designing, but I also want to try making something myself. And you'll see that process along with me. It will be a true dive into the world of yacht design. Let's talk a bit about what materials are the best for her furniture. Traditionally, plywood is used, and her old interior was made from 10mm plywood. The pieces were held together with screws, glue, little nails, and sometimes wooden beams. Even with no experience, I realized plywood is very convenient for building. That's a huge plus. But when I broke apart the old furniture, I faced the reality. Even marine-grade plywood eventually rots. At the necessary thickness, it's quite heavy, and everything that isn't glued starts squeaking over time, like an old bat. What do you think about plywood? Write in the comments. Your opinion could really help with this project. The second material often used on boats is wood. I really love how wooden details look. They create a cozy, authentic marine atmosphere. No doubt, it's beautiful. But reality is harsh. When I helped my dad fix another boat, I realized how much effort and time it takes to create this beauty. And that's not all. You then have to constantly maintain it so it keeps looking neat and expensive. And that's when I started thinking, I want her to be part of my life, not the other way around. I want life to be a journey, not endless cleaning and caring for fragile, beautiful details. This, though, became the heart of the entire project, to create a boat as convenient as possible for living without demanding endless maintenance. That's why we decided to make all her furniture out of the fiberglass. She already has some interior elements made from it, so why not use it everywhere? What do you think about this idea? Friends, thank you so much for your support. Your views, likes and comments inspire us to create new videos. We really enjoyed talking with you, and your tips, especially about how to remove mold, were super helpful. I also would like to thank to Christopher George for his donation, and a very special welcome to the first patron of this project, David Shorty Miller. Thank you for deciding to support. Once again, thank you all. You are the best. Of course, there are downsides. Making a fiberglass interior is harder than using plywood and is just one of the challenges. But let's look at the advantages. Moisture is no longer a problem, no more rotting or warped details. Weight reduction, meaning we can add more amenities without harming your seaworthiness, like even a washing machine. Easy cleaning. All surfaces are simple to wipe down, saving a ton of time in the future. Yeah, it's a rude comparison, and my opinion might change during the refit. That's exactly why we were drawing everything first, instead of rushing into building. During the design stage, my dad wants to test one theory based on the old interior. Most of the parts back then were screwed in, not glued. And here is the question. What if we didn't glue her furniture at all, but made it completely removable? The benefits of this idea are obvious. Full access to her hull at any time. Easy furniture replacement without major refits on board. Ability to manufacture everything in a workshop and then quickly install it in place. My dad thinks it's an unusual idea, but we've decided to give it a try. If it works, it could completely change how yacht interiors are built. And while I can't yet show you the production process, in the next videos you'll see how the furniture is designed and this concept is tested. If the modular fiberglass interior passes the virtual trials, we'll drive fully into production and assembly. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss all the epic fails and unexpected successes of our story. I promise, it will be exciting until the very last second. See you in the next episode.